Thank you so much for coming. It's lovely to have you again. So thank you for tuning back in because we don't have anyone new. You are all from the core group. Um, if you find you have any particular issues you want to work on more, I'm available for one-on-one consultations. I'm happy to do one-on-one classes online. And today in the session we'll focus on your special requests as well. So it will be a mix of strengthening our backs, working with our knees, strengthening them, and maybe relieving any pains and injuries you might have in your knees. And we'll do also some extra chanting, another special request. So we'll start with a meditation. So make yourself comfortable wherever you are. I hope your phones are mute, so you will not be too disturbed. And whether you choose cross-leg sitting, half lotus, lotus pose, up to you. The most important part is that you keep your back straight. So you can even place the back of your hand on your lower back to check if your back is straight. Usually we try to make an excessive curve in our back. So make sure it's not too much. And then roll your shoulders up and back a couple of times, creating nice space between your ears and your shoulders. And feel free to synchronize this movement with your breath. Palms on your knees, so they're nice and wide. Good. And relax. Great. Tune into your body, tune into your breath. Feel free to close your eyes for a few moments. Visualize your spine and imagine you are extending your spine through the crown of your head towards the sky and down through your tailbone into the ground. Nice deep breaths. Feel free to take more air in than you usually take. Feeling out the lungs. Become aware of the sounds around you, either in the room you are in or outside, maybe even outside the building. You can hear the birds chirping. And check if you can hear any sounds coming from your own body. Could be your breath, could be your heartbeat. Some of you might hear the digestion. Whatever it is, just stay with it, observe it, try to get to know this sound. It could be more than one. There might be no sound as well, that's fine. Loka. I assume you repeated. Now second sound, samasta. Very good. So together it's loka samasta. Okay, and then second part, sukino and bhavantu. So together it's sukino bhavantu. Okay, and together the whole thing, loka samasta sukino bhavantu. Take a nice deep breath in together. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. Lowering the voice. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. Maybe whispering at this point. And now repeating the mantra in your mind. And coming back to whispering quietly. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. 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 Inhaling to your lower back, building this lower back awareness, and at the same time opening your hips, allowing your knees to be heavy, basically allowing the gravity to open your hips. There is not much you have to do yourself. Become aware of your upper body as well. I mean, shoulders, they should be nice and flat on the mats. Your head heavy on the ground as well, so that your neck can be nice and relaxed. Staying here for a few moments, staying here with your breath. I will chant Yoga Sutras by Patanjali. There is nothing you have to do, just listen. Unless you know the mantra, then feel free to repeat. Hatha Yoga Nusashanam Yogaha Chittavrittis Nirodha Tada Drashtuhu Svarupe Avashtanam Vritti Sarupyam Itaratra Vritayaha Panchatayaha Klishta Klishtaha Pramanya Viparyaya Vikalpa Nidra Smritaya. These are the opening verses of yoga sessions that were traditionally used by gurus, and they actually describe yoga philosophy. They highlight that the purpose of yoga is to calm our mind by removing any disturbance from our mind. And we can relate to a metaphor that our mind is like a lake. And when the surface of the lake is nice and flat and there is no waves on it, it can reflect the reality as it is. But when our mind is not calm, then the reflection is disturbed, distorted, and then we can't experience the reality as it is. So the purpose of yoga is to keep that lake nice and smooth so that we can see the things as they are. Okay, now coming with your awareness back to your thighs and knees. So you are opening your hips in this position. And without doing anything else, I invite you to start using the muscles of your inner thighs and very slowly start bringing your knees towards each other by lifting them higher and higher. And it will take about a minute until they touch. So very slowly start lifting your knees. Very slowly, almost as if there is no movement. Lifting them higher and higher, bringing them towards each other. Don't worry if your muscles shake. Muscles shake to just release the tension, but you can keep going. Okay, probably you are halfway there. Remember to breathe. And perhaps at some point you will have to bring the soles of your feet to the mat to make it more comfortable. And eventually your knees will touch. And from here you are nearly ready for bridge pose. But splay your feet out so that they are hip distance apart. Bring your palms down, arms by your sides, and bring your feet close enough so that you can touch your heels with your fingers. And that's our perfect bridge pose alignment. Feet are hip distance apart, fingers touching the heels. Check your neck, make sure your neck is happy, maybe tuck your chin in. And then very slowly start lifting the pelvis up. So we are not going into bridges yet, just lifting the pelvis up and down, synchronizing this with your breath. So you are inhaling as you lift up. And as you lift up, you press your lower back down. You might feel a stronger connection with your lower back as you lift your pelvis up. Your knees shouldn't move. They should stay over your ankles. And feel free to maybe lift your pelvis higher next time you breathe. Maybe peeling off more of the spine. So becoming aware of your upper back now as well, and maybe lifting your hips so high that your upper back is going up as well. But as you exhale and bring the pelvis down, I invite you to create a gentle arch in your lower back. Okay, slowly you might be able to move towards full bridge. And if you are there, then feel free to take your arms over your head as your hips go high. And then bringing everything down as you exhale. So arms again by your sides on the floor and pelvis down as well with a gentle arch on your lower back. Keep going. Deepening your breaths. Moving your arms at the same time. Unless you are struggling here with strong core and back. But you can also engage your legs. You can use the muscles of your legs to help you lifting yourself up. And keep that knees awareness. Knees stay over your ankles. Good. And next time you are up, stay up. If you are struggling, if you can't keep yourself up, you can always place your palms under your hips with elbows on the floor for support. Otherwise, just stay lifting yourself up, building the strength in your body. Still staying aware of your lower back, engaging your glutes, your thighs, maybe even your calves. Deep breaths, lifting higher an inch or two more as you inhale. And then coming down. Same with your arms. Now, if you have a block or something that can imitate a block, you can do an extra bonus thing here, but don't worry if you don't have one. You can try that later. If you have that block, place it between your thighs and squeeze it. And next time as you inhale, rise up with block or without. Stay in the bridge pose. And some of you, those with the block, will squeeze that block. Maybe you have to bring your feet a bit closer towards each other. So for some of you, it's a regular bridge pose. For some of you, there's an extra squeeze on the thighs, strengthening the back, squeezing the glutes. Remember to breathe. And come down when you are ready. Get rid of the block if you used one. And we'll go into bridge pose again, but now we will all use the support. Simply place your palms under your hips, one at a time or both at the same time, up to you. Make sure your neck is happy, tuck your chin in. Now stay where you are or bring one of your knees towards your armpit. So bend leg, keep breathing, strong other leg. Become aware of your knee, trying to bring it closer towards the shoulder underneath. Switch legs. Good. Pulling that knee towards the other shoulder now. Strong other leg. Remember to breathe. It's a strong pose. And ease out and come all the way down for a full body stretch. So long arms, long legs, arms over your head, stretching through your fingers and toes. Good, and now we'll do something they call banana pose, which I don't think is an official name. Simply take your legs to the right, gently, and the same with your arms, so you create an arch on the floor. So banana shape, stretching one side of your body. You can go deeper by putting one ankle on top of the other and pulling one wrist with the other. Obviously, you are pulling the wrist on the side you are stretching. And staying here for a few breaths. Okay, and switching sides, stretching the other side of your body, so banana on the other side, taking those legs to the side, arms as well, creating nice arch. And if you like, you can place one leg on top of the other. Check which one works best. And then pull the arm by grabbing the wrist. And breathe into the side of your body you are stretching. Good. And release. One more full body stretch, and now hug your knees just by your chest and rock from side to side. Head stays down. From here, let's move to happy baby pose. So lift those feet up so that your shins are vertical to the ground, more or less, and grab the soles of your feet from the inside. Okay, so those knees come closer towards your shoulders, pressing the lower back down and perhaps rocking from side to side again. Remember to breathe happy baby pose. Pressing down with your palms so that your knees can come closer to the rest of your body. Splaying them out. Good. Okay. Now bring your knees to your chest and we'll try to roll onto our back by lifting the pelvis. You can use your palms for support. Goal is to get into sitting with the momentum after a couple of times. But if you struggle with headaches after any stronger exercises, then please take care of yourself and get into cross-leg sitting slowly. The same if your spine isn't happy with rolling on your mat. So do it a couple of times, 7 times max, and then moving into cross-leg sitting. Very good. Okay, let's extend our arms in front of us. We will stretch the wrists, so lift your fingers up and down. Slowly and mindfully imagine your breath travels into your wrists. And now imagine your palms are on the flat surface and you move them into one side, one direction, and in the other. I'm not sure if you can see. It's almost like you are cleaning a table. Good. And now fists, we'll rotate them in one direction and the other. Great. Okay, let's focus on our legs. Let's bring the soles of the feet together to release any tensions you might have in your groins in butterfly pose. So for some of you, this exercise with lifting the knees was very strong. So let's try to release any tensions that still might be there. Great. Now open your feet as if you are reading a book. Take a nice deep breath in, open your chest and bend forward, bringing your chest and face towards the feet. And you can press down with your elbows or forearms to deepen that stretch on your groins. Bending from your hips, so keeping your spine nice and straight as much as it's possible. Nice. Okay, coming back to cross-leg sitting, I forgot we didn't do a side twist, so take a nice deep breath in, take your arms up. And now as you exhale, bring your left palm on top of the right knee, right arm behind you for support. Inhale, open your chest. And exhale, look over the right shoulder. Visualizing your spine extending through the crown of your head and down through your tailbone. Maybe you can even visualize your vertebrae twisting around your solar plexus, so kind of between your heart and navel. Opening your chest more as you inhale, and then each time you exhale, deepen that twist. Some people find it easier to go deeper if they chant letter M. So check if that's you. You can always press against that knee to deepen your twist, but make sure you don't go too far. You don't want to injure yourself, so check what works best for your body. Last exhale, go deeper if you want. And then slowly, mindfully start coming out, coming back to the center. We'll repeat on the other side. Deep breath in, arms up. Right palm, left knee, left arm behind you. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, twist. Look over the left shoulder. And make sure your head follows the rest of the spine, not the other way around. Nice deep breaths, expanding your chest, maybe pressing against that knee to deepen your twist. As always, you are welcome to chant. Visualizing your spine, visualizing the twist, the vertebrae involved, and coming out when you are ready. Okay, let's try that again. Inhale, arms up, but this time bring your palms into prayer. And as you twist and try to look over the right shoulder, check if you can bring your palms by your heart and lifting this elbow up. So it's a slightly different twist. You're looking to the side. I don't think you can press against something. Maybe some of you are so flexible, you can press against that right leg. Try to open the right shoulder, take it away from your ears. The elbow shows you where you are going. You can go further with that right elbow, squeezing the right shoulder blade. Remember to breathe. Okay, and then come back to the center and let's go to the other side. On the exhale, feel free to bend forward gently here. That's easier. If you really want to press against that knee, you will have to bend forward a little bit. That's fine. So check what works for you. Palms are by your heart, so don't keep them too high. And check that elbow. Maybe you can pull it back more. Stretching the shoulder blades, the left one this time. Good. And coming back to the center. Very good. Now let's focus on warming up our legs. So gently stretch them, extend them, and let's rub the knees one at a time. And then grabbing one thigh, maybe interlacing the fingers behind, and bending that knee a couple of times. Floppy foot, exploring different angles for your knee, so that shin can go left and right. Good. Now grab that shin so that it's nice and in front of you, and let's stretch the foot, toes pointing forward, and now back. And as you go back, we have kind of foot fist, so clench the toes, and then again extend and foot fist. Good. Few more times. Synchronize this with your breath if you like, and then let's do a couple of rotations, both directions. Great. And switch feet. So we are extending and clenching the toes as we flex the foot. So a couple of times. It doesn't really matter when you inhale and when you exhale, whichever works for you. And rotations. 2, 3 on each side, and then change the direction. Great. Okay, so feet are in front of you. Let's grab the right big toe with the right palm. And now let's stretch this hamstring by extending this leg a few times. Feel free to use the other palm for support, more or less behind you. And then stay in your stretch. It's fine if you can't keep your leg straight because your arm is not long enough. You can always hold your shin or maybe even thigh, just to stretch that hamstring to prepare it for next postures. Maybe taking this leg to the side, opening the chest, remembering about our posture. Good. And switching the legs. So grabbing the left big toe, stretching a few times. As always, I invite you to synchronize this with your breath, any dynamic movement in yoga really. And then staying with the extended leg, directing the breath into the back of your knee, opening that knee. Maybe using the arm for support behind you. And then if you feel like it, taking this leg to the side. Nice. Okay. Now bring the right foot towards your groin. Take a nice deep breath in, arms up, and as you exhale, bend forward towards the front foot. Okay, and staying here for a few moments, trying to bring both your chest and head towards the leg in front of you, opening the back of this knee even more. Good. 2 more breaths, going deeper as you exhale. Letting go of tensions, letting them sink into the ground. Lovely. And as you come out, bring your palms behind you, fingers pointing forwards. Inhaling, lifting your hips, leaving the foot and knee on the mat. Maybe dropping your head if your neck is happy. So counter pose. Okay, coming out, switching the legs. So bring the left foot by your groin. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, bending towards that leg in front of you. And foot is flexed. In most of those forward bends where we sit, the foot is vertical to the ground and it's engaged. To be honest, if you pull that foot towards yourself, you may notice your stretch on the back of your leg is stronger. Don't worry if you can't reach your foot, you can always hold your ankle or shin. The most important part is that you are opening the back of your knee. So direct your breath there. Good. And as you come out, place your palms behind you, counter pose, lift your hips up. Drop your head if you like, otherwise keep looking towards your feet. Lift higher and come out. Now let's do that again with the left leg. So bring the right foot by your groin again. This time you might need a strap if you can't reach your big toe. And if you barely reach your big toe, use the strap. It's better, you have more possibilities here. So I will use the strap to demonstrate. Rub the foot with the strap or belt and hold with left hand only. Good. Now bend your left elbow so that your elbow can press against your knee or shin, and extend the right arm behind you so that your right arm creates nice one line with the shoulders. You probably feel already a nice gentle stretch on the right side of your torso. Now use that left elbow, press against the leg to deepen your twist. Stay here with your right arm, or if you like, bring it by your right ear, or maybe just pointing towards the sky. It's a rather strong twist, so be mindful. And remember to breathe into the side of your body you are stretching. So maybe even visualize your lungs, your right lung. And feel the twist in your body. To be honest, when we breathe deeply in all those twists, we gently massage our internal organs that are close enough to the lungs. And twists were invented in yoga to help with detoxifying the body, to stimulate internal organs to purify themselves. Great. And slowly coming out, releasing the strap. Again, palms behind you, lifting the pelvis up. 2 deep breaths, lifting the hips higher and coming out, switching the legs. So now bring the left foot by your groin. Use the strap if you have to. If not, just grab the big toe. Then bend the elbow and press your right elbow against the knee, shin, or thigh. It depends on your body proportions. Spread, extend this left arm behind you so it creates a nice line with your shoulders. And open your chest. Maybe use the back muscles to go deeper into this twist. Inhale into the left side of your torso. And check the arm, it can stay where it is or maybe point towards the sky to have an extra stretch also on the shoulder, or some of you might bring it towards the left ear. But the problem is with bringing this arm towards the ear, if you are not very stretched, is that you will collapse and you will lose the opened chest. So it's better to regress to the aerial stage to have a deeper twist until your body is ready for the next one. Good. Opening, twisting more. Last deep breath in. And coming out gently. If it was a powerful stretch for you, then palms behind you. And lifting the hips for 2 breaths. Lifting higher as you inhale. And as you exhaling, staying where you are. Good. And coming back down. And let's move on to all fours, which is usually our classic end of the warm-ups. In all fours, let's make sure our arms and legs are hip distance apart and shoulder width apart, vertical to the ground. Let's start with freestyle movements. So palms and knees stay on the mat, but the rest of the body can move as it wishes. It's good to try here anything you haven't done before. So maybe some snake-like movements with your spine, maybe some wave-like movements, whatever feels new. But also being in tune with your body. Maybe there is some particular movement your body wants to try, so go for it. You might choose to close your eyes to give yourself extra confidence. It's so easy to judge ourselves, so let's go of any judgment. Just let yourself be as you are, following your body. Good, and slowly coming into tabletop flat back, stabilizing the posture. Classic cat flexions and extensions. Inhaling, looking up, dropping the belly, lifting the pelvis up, the tailbone particularly, and then arching the spine, tucking the chin in. Couple of times, following your own breath, inhaling, looking up. As you exhale, draw this navel in, tuck the tailbone in as well. Few more times. Maybe going deeper each time. Okay, and the last one. So we've done about 5. And coming back to tabletop flat back. Now ground your left palm, and as you inhale next time, lift your right arm and left leg up. And hold them nice and parallel to the floor. You can engage your core to help you with the balance. And now imagine or try to stretch through your fingers and through the back foot. And that foot is flexed, so you are stretching through the heel. Nice. Keep yourself nice and balanced. Keep breathing. Look down towards the left thumb to stretch the neck as well. So there's a nice extension on the spine as well. If that helps, you can imagine you are stretching through the crown of your head and your tailbone. And the next time you inhale, lift everything higher, look up, and come back down, switch the sides. So ground the right palm, spread the fingers nice and wide, lift the left arm, right leg parallel to the ground. Toes pointing down, stretching through the heel and your fingers on the left side. Tuck your chin in to stretch the spine in both directions. Finding your balance, maybe engaging your core. Next time you inhale, lift higher, look up, and come back down to all fours. And now tiger, also very good for the lower back. If you are not familiar, I'm demonstrating now. As you inhale, you look up, lift the right leg up, slightly bent. And as you exhale, you are bringing this knee towards your nose or forehead. Couple of times, 5 should be enough. No need to rush, follow your breath. On the last one, don't bring that knee towards your forehead. Instead, take it to the side with your thigh parallel to the floor. Good. Strong pose, strong breathing. Some of you, I don't really have a space, I have a wall. You can extend this leg so it's nice and vertical to the rest of your body. Lift your knee higher and release. Shake your legs. And we'll switch sides. So we'll do tiger on the other side, left leg this time. Inhaling, lifting this leg high, looking up, bend knee, and then bringing this towards your forehead or nose. Being aware of your lower back. It's actually quite a pleasant stretch on the lower back, one side at a time. About 5 times. On the last one, we'll go again to the side, keeping that leg parallel to the ground. Maybe extending that leg, which is even stronger. Lift the leg higher. Keep looking towards your foot. Check how parallel it is. Good. And release and shake. Okay. Now let's move into Sphinx. So bring your forearms down and lower your front body. Now let's check the alignment. So your forearms are about shoulder width apart, with shoulders over your elbows. Your pelvis is down, legs are down, feet are flat, and your big toes are touching. Now open your chest, take your shoulders away from your ears. Keep looking down with your chin tucked in for a nice long neck. Again, you can visualize your spine. It takes a really nice shape right now. And if you tuck your chin in, it's even nicer. Now from here we'll move into dolphin pose. So instead of downward dog, we'll do dolphin. I can demonstrate if you like. Basically, it's like downward dog, but on forearms, not on your palms. So to get there, you have to tuck your toes under with your feet hip distance apart and using your core and maybe even the muscles of your back to lift yourself up. So it's almost like going into plank first and then lifting the pelvis up. If it's too strong for you, you can just do regular dog. I want you to stay in the dolphin or dog for about 5 breaths, pressing through your forearms down so that you can open your shoulders. Also your armpits, if that's easier to identify. Good. And come down into plank and then sphinx. So simple vinyasa. As you inhale, again, lift yourself up into plank and then press to move into dolphin with your heels up, staying here for 5 breaths. If you really want, you can bring those feet closer towards yourself for a brief moment and try to bring your heels down as well. Just be mindful you will have to take those feet back again as you go down into Sphinx. And coming down into Sphinx. Nice. And rest. You can do this sequence on your own if you like. It's quite good for strengthening your core and your back. And we'll move to our classic downward dog. So place your palms maybe under your shoulders for now to lift yourself up into all fours. Tuck your toes under and fold your downward dog by pressing through your palms. Lifting your pelvis high with your legs nice and long. Heels up, stretching your toes. And from here, start walking on spot, bringing one heel down at a time, stretching your hamstrings. And as always, downward dog is not a press up. You want your arms to be the extension of the rest of your upper body. So they create a nice one line. Now as you inhale, lift both heels up, and as you exhale, bring both heels down. Don't worry if you can't. It takes time to open the back of your legs that much. But whether it's easy for you or not, try to take your heels outside a bit to deepen this stretch. Good. And now lift your right leg up and immediately bend the knee and place your right foot between your palms. Good. Plant the left palm down and we'll have a gentle twist. You can place your right palm on the right knee, twisting to the side to look over the shoulder. The back leg stays nice and strong. Unless you struggle with strength, then bring your knee down. You can stay here or extend this arm towards the sky, twisting a bit more, opening your chest towards the sky. The front knee doesn't move. Nice strong legs. Going deeper. Good. And here you can even bring that arm towards your right ear. It may actually help you go deeper into your twist. Really opening towards the sky without changing your feet alignment. And as you come down on the exhale, bring both palms down, leg back, and lower yourself down into stick. You can use chaturanga, then inhale in your gentle cobra, and come back to downward dog. So feet hip distance apart. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, place your foot between your palms. Now plant the right palm where it is under the shoulder. The left palm can go on top of your left knee. You might discover you are quite flexible this time and the back leg can go back more. Stay here or take this left arm towards the sky, opening the chest. At the same time, maybe sink lower with your hips. Have a nice stretch on your groins. Good. Some of you may discover you prefer to bring that left arm by your left ear. So it's almost an extension of the body. Maybe creating one line with the back leg. Opening that chest, deep breaths. And coming down, taking the leg back, lowering yourself down the way you choose. Pressing down or chaturanga. Inhaling cobra, so pressing down with your palms and resting in child. And in child, if you can't reach the floor with your forehead, you can always rest on your palms or fists. Okay, now we'll do the twist on the other side. So extend those arms in front of you, shoulders width apart, maybe a bit wider, and come back onto your all fours. Tuck your toes under, unfold your downward dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, place this foot between your palms. And this time, plant your right palm by the right instep so that your shoulder is pressing against the knee. Bring the back heel down, and there will be naturally about 45 degrees angle. Now, prepare to lift that left arm up and extend it towards the sky. If it's too much, bring that palm to your hip. Remember to breathe. Deepening your twist again, using the strength of your legs. Maybe pressing against that knee to deepen that posture. And again, you can bring that arm towards your ear. And then you will probably feel a stronger twist in your hip area. Nice deep breaths. Last one. And come down. Take the leg back. Lower yourself down the way you choose. Easier or harder. Cobra. And coming back on into your downward dog. This time, lift your left leg up and sweep it through between your palms. Plant the left palm by your instep, press against the knee with the shoulder, back heel down, 45-degree angle, and extend that arm towards the sky, or if it's too much, then place it on your hip. The knee stays over the ankle, so you have a 90 degrees angle there. And now to twist, opening towards the sky, deepening the breaths. Some of you might choose to bring the right arm by the ear, deepening the twist even more. Strong legs, straight back leg. You are pressing through your palm and both feet down. Good. Last deep breath in and come all the way down into plank and then lower yourself down to Sphinx. And rest in child for a few moments. So extend your arms and come back onto your fours. Unfold your downward dog on the inhale. Stay on the exhale. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, sweep it through. This time, plant both palms by the instep. So take a few moments to adjust. Your palms should be under your shoulders, so take this right leg a bit to the side, but still with your knee over the ankle. And stay as you are. Maybe take the back knee back a bit, stretching through the heel. Or bend your elbows. And some of you might be so flexible, you might be able to bring your forearms down as well. Stay here for a few breaths. If you really struggle, it's fine if this right knee splays out. Neck is nice and long, shoulders are away from your ears. Good. And now both arms straight. Take the leg back, lower yourself down. Cobra, inhale. Come back, all fours, downward dog. This time inhale, left leg up. Sweep it through. Both palms under your shoulders. Take this foot to the left side a bit. Check your alignment. Maybe back foot can go back a bit as well. Stay where you are or bend your elbows. And as always, some of you might go onto The forearms. Remember to breathe. Nice long neck. So shoulders away from the ears. If you want to deepen the stretch, focus on your heel at the back and let it pull you back a bit. Lovely. And make sure now you have both arms straight to come back to your plank. Lower yourself down, maybe knees first if that's easier. Inhaling cobra and resting in child. And take a few moments there. And from here we'll move slowly to standing, and as always we'll do it through forward bend. Standing forward bend. So rise up onto your feet, lifting your knees up and slowly lifting your pelvis up, stretching your legs. And your legs should be about hip distance apart for a nice balance. Feel free to clasp your elbows and perhaps rocking yourself from side to side, releasing tensions from your upper back. Shake your head a few times. Yes and no. And release your palms. Now grab your big toes, or if you can't reach your big toes, hold your ankles or shins. Inhale, look up, extend the spine. And as you exhale, deepen your forward bend. Try to bring the crown of your head towards the floor and your face, chest towards the legs. Try to keep your legs straight if you can. Splaying your elbows out. Inhaling into the back of your legs. Lovely stretch. Good. And release. And from here we'll slowly start rising up, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Taking a couple of breaths. Arms completely relaxed. Floppy hands. The head will come up last. And when you get to standing, roll your shoulders back a few times. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling down. Soft knees. Deep breaths couple of times in your own pace. Good. Last one. Great. And we'll stay standing, but we'll bring the feet together now for mountain pose. So in mountain pose, it's good if your ankles and your knees can press against each other. Now roll your shoulders back one more time and stay with your shoulders back. Take them also away from your ears. And tuck your tailbone under. Engage your glutes, so squeeze your buttocks, really squeeze your buttocks, engage your thighs, and actually try to kind of open your legs, taking this inner thighs out. So there's like an opening movement. You can't really see it, but you will feel it. So taking those knees, those thighs out. At the same time, the knees might be still pressing against each other. And open your chest. Extend through the crown of your head. If you like, you can imagine there's a rope, string coming out through the crown of your head, pulling you up towards the sky. So if you struggle with balance, that string will stabilize you as well. Strong foundation. Be aware of the connection your feet make with the ground. Maybe improve the arches of your feet. Maybe press down with your toes. Keep squeezing your buttocks, squeezing your thighs and trying to taking the inner thighs out. Chest stays open, shoulders are away from your ears. Lovely pose to correct your posture. Maybe this is a bit exaggerated for a public space, but if you are standing in a queue, and nowadays there are queues to many supermarkets, so you stand in queues maybe more than usual, try to remain in this posture, at least with your thighs and buttocks engaged. Good, and release. Shake if you have to. It might be strong on thighs for some of you. Great. Okay, what do we have next? Tree. Let's do tree pose. And I will give you more options this time than usual. So the easiest one is placing your heel on the ankle of the other foot. More advanced, foot by the knee, by the groin, or something we were preparing for last time. The front foot comes just under the hip. So choose the option that feels good on your knee. It's very important to protect your knees, especially in yoga, because in those dynamic movements, it's sometimes possible to overextend. Now, from here, you can place your palms on your hips. There's plenty of options. Palms by your chest, prayer. You might even do prayer behind you to open your chest even more. Or something fairly easy, palms over your head, although some of you might struggle here with balance. So check which one works best for you. Visualizations may help. There's a string coming out through the crown of your head, connecting you with the ceiling, and the root coming out from the foot. So you are nice and grounded. Remember to breathe whichever option you chose. The most powerful, I believe, is the palms behind you, because it forces you to open your chest more than you usually do. Now stay where you are or start bending forward. So that's even more challenging for your balance. Get your palms ready to catch you, bending forward. Don't worry if you can't. Stay with whichever option feels comfortable. And if you bend forward, try to reach the floor and then bend with your face, chest towards the leg. The leg can be straight or bent. It really depends what works best for you if it's the first time you do this pose. To come out, you will really have to bend the knee and then lift yourself up to come back to your original tree, and then release the other leg and shake. Well done! Very ambitious today you are. Okay, plant the other foot and choose your option, and ideally do the same option you've done on the other side. Obviously, if your foot is not by your hip, you can't really bend forward. It doesn't work. So then you have to stay in the original tree, standing without bending forward. Choose your palms position, ideally the same one you've done previously, or you can switch between all of them. Really ground that foot, the leg you are standing on. Improve the inner arch, spread the toes nice and wide, press down with your toes, or visualize there is a nice root, maybe a few meters long, grounding you and giving you stability. Okay, if you have your foot by your hip, then start bending forward. And again, get ready with your palms in case things go wrong, hopefully not. And then straighten this leg and bring your chest towards your leg. And to come out, bend that leg and start lifting yourself up. Good, release the leg and shake. I have the impression you really like when we do something new for the first time. So that was it. Chair pose. Feet hip distance apart. And now we will sit in imaginary chair. I have a wall behind me, so I need to make sure I have enough space. So to sit in your imaginary chair, you have to bend your knees, but make sure you are not bending forward, right? So you are sitting, but your spine stays quite straight. And you may choose to place one palm on your lower back, making sure there is no curve. So tuck your tailbone in if there is a curve. You can also place your palms on your lower rib cage and draw that rib cage in. It will also improve your lower back. Can you feel it? You can even move it a few times. There is a nice relationship between your lower back and your rib cage position. So find your alignment so you are more or less straight, and then sink lower into your posture as long as it feels comfortable. Knees stay over your toes. Now stay where you are, maybe palms on your hips, or rise with your arms up. And maybe sink lower in your position without bending forward, keeping this tailbone tucked in for a nice long spine. Feet parallel to each other, strong thighs. Good, well done, and release and shake. Triangle pose, we haven't done it for a while. Alignment is similar to Warrior 2. So you need one foot in front of your mat and one at the back. And for now you are pointing, facing forwards. So the toes of the right foot in front of you are pointing towards the front of the mat, while the back foot, there is an angle about 45, maybe 60 degrees. Heels both down. Now open your hips to the side, as if you are preparing for Warrior 2. Extend your arms. Take a nice deep breath in and lean to your right. So just imagine I'm pulling you by the right palm towards the right leg. And then lower yourself down, straight legs. So maybe rest this palm on your shin or ankle or foot and make sure your legs are straight. Otherwise you might not feel that stretch. So don't go too deep if it's not possible. Now left palm, point fingers towards the sky. And make sure your hips didn't move. If you want to be sure, maybe place this left palm on your hip and take this hip back a bit, opening that hip. You should feel a nice stretch on the inner side of your right knee. It might be actually a bit painful, so be careful, especially if you have any knee injuries. And some of you might go deeper with that right palm, maybe onto the floor. I'm quite a big fan of blocks because they can be used in many ways and they are away from your foot, giving you better stability. Open your chest towards the sky. Taking that shoulder also away from your ear. Looking up, stretching the muscles of your eyes. Focus on the left thumb. You should be able to see it. Good. And bend the front knee to come out. Nice. Now come forward with the back foot a bit, couple of inches. We will bend forward towards the front leg. So keep your hips square. The angle on the back foot is the same. Palms on your hips, inhaling, looking up and bending forward from your hips, keeping both legs straight. So don't be surprised if you can't go too far. Most important, hips are parallel to each other. And you are bending, keeping your spine relatively straight. You can even pull the right hip with your right palm back to deepen that stretch on the back of the right leg. Some of you might be so flexible you actually want to bring your palms down and rest on that leg. It's definitely not me. I actually prefer to keep palms on the hips because then I can make sure the alignment stays correct. Shoulders away from your ears. Tuck your chin in. Look towards the toes. Underneath. Good. And come out. Lifting up. Shaking if you have to. Okay, coming back to that alignment one more time. We'll go for half moon pose. So if you have a block, it will be very handy. You can also use books, but don't worry, we'll not stay there for too long. So you can try again later with proper accessories. So to go into half moon, we will need both palms in front of us. So bend that front knee so you can bring your palms down, or just fingertips. And now you will have to lunge by lifting the back leg up and straighten the leg. Palms stay on the mat. Okay, now let's try to open that left hip. So point the toes of the foot that is up towards the sky. Stay here or lift the left palm up. And if you have a block, you will have to place that block under your right palm in the position that suits you. The left palm can go onto your hip, or maybe even you can extend it towards the sky. Remember, the left foot is pointing towards the sky as well. And you are opening here the side of your body, strong leg, strong right arm, giving you balance. Don't worry if you have to stay with palms down. There is time for everything, and be patient with yourself. Okay, time to come out. Stand up slowly and then shake your legs. I had the impression you liked it. So if you want, we can try a reversed half moon. So come back to the same position with your legs. Again, bend the front leg, bring your palms down. And when you are ready, lift the left leg back, left leg up again. So for now, the postures are the same. What's gonna change is that this time you are lifting the right palm off the mat and maybe bringing it to your hip. If you have a block, it will actually help you go deeper into the pose. So block is under the left palm this time. And you are opening by pointing the right arm towards the sky if you have a good balance here. So that's the pose. If you really like this kind of twist and stretchers and strengtheners, I invite you to invest in a block. Good. And now place your left palm on the outside of the right ankle and the right palm on your right hip. And look up, look over the right shoulder. You can extend that arm as we usually do. Just gentle twist. You can press against that leg to deepen your twist. Two more breaths. Straight legs. But don't worry if you can't, you can keep them gently bent. Now stay with your left palm where you are, wrapping the ankle, while right palm goes onto the other leg. So you are thread this right palm like a needle. So it's going between your arm and leg, and you place the right palm on the left leg. And now look over the left armpit. So take that left arm slightly away from yourself. It's a really nice twist. It might be quite tricky to perform at first. It's not really a natural position. You're looking up under the left armpit. And you can press against both legs to deepen your twist, to really open. Good, and come out. I'm sure you felt it in your knees. And slowly lift up, taking nice deep breaths. The head comes up last, always in forward bend. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, palms on your hips. Last deep breath, inhale here, look up, bend forward from your hips. Palms down towards the floor. And relax for a moment or two in your forward bend. Check your feet alignment. Feet should be parallel to each other. wider than your hips, but not too much, just so you are comfortable enough. In those forward bends, standing forward bends, if you ever struggle with your knees, you can always point your toes gently towards each other. It will protect your knees. Okay, time for the twist. So place your right palm on the outside of the left ankle or shin. Left palm goes on top of your hip, or you extend it towards the sky. And you can press here against that knee to go deep into your twist. Keep breathing. Last time we had a very mindful class, lots of breathing. Today it's more physical. Nice. Now thread like a needle. Bring that left palm onto the other leg, shin, knee, ankle, whichever, and then kind of uncurl yourself. Try to look towards the sky under your right armpit. Nice stretch. Getting used to it without going too deep for now. Last deep breath. Good. And now come out. Very slowly, stacking one vertebra on top of the other, coming all the way up. And the head comes up last as usual. Shake if you have to. And we are going back to sitting. Extend your legs. We will start with staff pose to engage your core even more. Be careful with your knees and thighs. I mean, we've done lots of work here, so maybe give them a bit of massage. And then extend your legs in front of you, engage your feet so they are vertical to the floor. Roll your shoulders back and place your fingertips on the mat by your hips. Open your chest. Engage your thighs to maintain a 90 degrees angle. Good. Stay here or hover your palms over the mat to use more muscles to keep you in the pose. Stronger version, lift your arms up over the head. Open your chest even more. Stay here a few more breaths. Active feet, active thighs. Core is engaged. You are opening your chest. Can you feel your shoulder blades? You are squeezing them to open your chest even more. Last deep breath in and relax. Nice. And let's move here into forward bend. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend forward. Reach towards your toes. Don't worry, you don't have to. Shins are fine too. You don't need a strap. Inhale, look up. Exhale, bend forward, bringing your chest face down, taking your elbows out. You might feel you are stretching your hamstrings again if there is anything left to stretch. Good. Okay, come out when you are ready. We'll move into boat pose now. So bend your knees, hold your thighs, make sure there is nothing behind you, and lift your feet up so that your shins are parallel to the floor. Classic boat pose. Stage 1, chest open, shoulders away from your ears, elbows can be quite far out. Stage 2, if you like, without support. 5 breaths. Try to make this angle as tiny as possible, bringing your chest and knees close to each other. Last deep breath in and rest, bringing feet down, hugging your legs, resting your face on your knees. Very good. Let's try again. Some of you will repeat stage 1 or 2. Some of you go further. If that's you, grab your big toes, lift them off the mat, find your balance, open your chest, extend your legs in front of you, and then release stage 4. So boat with straight legs. Now make sure your feet are not too high. There is the same angle on your legs and upper body. So it's a nice balanced boat. 2 more breaths. Don't worry if you keep shaking. And come out when you are ready. And rest. And we need to do the counter pose because that was quite strong. So place your palms behind you, fingers pointing forwards. Easy version, crab pose. Lifting your pelvis, making sure your shoulders are over your palms and your knees over your ankles. If it's too easy for you, you can always try inverted plank, which is stronger on the wrists and arms and the core, of course, as well. So choose your option, crab or inverted plank. In both poses, you can drop your head if you like. Lifting your pelvis higher each time you inhale. In crab, feet are hip distance apart. In plank, they are next to each other. Lifting higher and coming out from both poses. Good. And lay down. Now, last time we've done side plank, and I'm aware we've done a bit too strong versions. So I discovered that there is one version which is much easier. So how about we try it now? To get there, you need to be on your side and bring your, let's start with left forearm down. And if you open your body to the side, your fingers are pointing in that direction too. Now, left leg will be nice and long and you will lift the pelvis up. But I'm aware it's too strong for some of you to stack one leg on top of the other and just hold it like that. So what you can do, you can bring your right foot by bending the knee in front. And then a side plank might be much easier. So get there when you are ready. Hope the directions are clear enough. Find the right angle for the right foot for support. If you are very flexible and very strong here, just stack one leg on top of the other. And we'll hold it for 20 more seconds. So rest halfway through if you have to. Lift the pelvis higher. Press through the forearm. You can even extend that arm towards the sky if you like. Keep breathing. 10 seconds more. You can do it. It will help with your back. Unless you feel pain. If you feel any pain, just come out. Few breaths more. Good. And come out. Lovely. Rest if you have to. Now we do on the right arm. So actually, for those of you who are right-handed, might be easier that side. So check your alignment. So forearm is nice and flat on the mat. The same with the palm. And your shoulder is over the elbow. Prepare your legs. So your right leg is nice and long and you will lift the pelvis. The foot will be on its edge as you lift up. And you can stack one leg on top of the other, or again, bring that left foot just in front of you, in front of the other leg. Lift up when you are ready. Some of you are already there. Choose the option for the left palm. And make sure you are not bending forward. Maybe push that pelvis to the side as well. Choose the option for the arm. Lift the pelvis higher, shoulder, right shoulder and left shoulder away from your ears. Good, strong core. Keep breathing. Few more moments. It's okay if your muscles are shaking. It doesn't mean you have to stop. They are just releasing the tensions. And lift your hips higher. Few more breaths. And release. Good. Rest on your side for a moment or two. And now lay on your back with your knees bent. So one more good exercise on your back and core, but also on your knees. I mean, they're all related today. Rarely one pose is just for one thing. Lift your arms and point them towards the ceiling so that they are nice and vertical to the ground. Check your lower back, press your lower back down. Lift your feet so that your thighs are vertical to the ground. So it's like all fours but upside down. Keep pressing down with your lower back. You need to use the muscles to do that. Stay here, or some of you, if you feel strong enough, will go further by taking right arm and left leg down to the floor, straight leg without touching, and coming back to all fours. Choose your option carefully. We'll do it a couple of times. So stay in your all fours if it's already challenging for you. So right arm, left leg 5 times without touching the ground. Keep breathing. Good. Hug your knees if you have to, or stay in all fours. And the other side. So left arm and right leg. Synchronize with your breath. Inhale as you extend. 5 times. No rushing. The slower you go, the more powerful the effect. Good. And hug your knees. And rock yourself from side to side if you like. Nice. Okay, now we're gonna rotate so that you lay on your front of your body. So you can start in Sphinx, as we did last time, when we were on the mats like that. And shoulders are over your elbows. Shoulders are obviously away from your ears, so your neck is nice and long. Now look towards your legs, bend your knees, and let's try to bring one knee up high and then down. It might be just a couple of inches off the mat. Inhaling, lifting up, coming down. If you know where they are going, then maybe look in front of you, lifting one leg up at the time with the knee bent. And check how far you can go. And you are not opening your hip. I think that will be quite tricky here anyway. You are kicking back with that leg towards the ceiling. That's all. You can keep going, or some of you might try to lift both knees up. Don't worry if there is no movement at all. You can feel your muscles are working. Okay, release. So lifting your knees for about 2-3 breaths and then resting. And you can do a couple of series. When I do it, I guess you can't see anything, but I do lift my knees off the mat a bit, engaging my muscles, especially of my lower back, and that's the most important. Good, and when you are done, just bring your face down and rest. And as usual, we'll do a dart pose, I believe they call it, although I'm pretty sure it's a very modern name, dart pose, where we leave the front body only. So bring the big toes together as your legs are nice and long on the mat and feet flat. And place your palms under your chin, maybe interlacing them. And as you inhale, lift the front of your body up. And ease out, come down. Again, lift, pressing maybe with your pelvis down to go a bit higher if you like. Staying as you exhale, inhaling, lifting higher, engaging your back, especially your lower back. And one last time, and come all the way back down. Now, arms are by your sides. As you inhale, rise up with your upper body and your arms, and they are nice and long, not touching each other. Neck is nice and long as well. You can tuck your chin in and look down towards the front of your mat. Keep breathing, keep lifting your upper body, taking your arms quite nice and high, as long as it feels comfortable, and rest. And if you like, you can repeat that or go even further, extending your arms in front of you, and then lifting your heavier this time upper body with the arms. And the arms are the extension of the spine. Tuck your chin in. Keep pressing through your pelvis down, big toes touching. Keep breathing. Tuck your chin in. And rest. Well done. Spread your legs nice and wide, instep facing down, and rock your hips to release any tensions you might hold there. And now bring your feet together and lift yourself up and then pull back into wide knee child. So buttocks come towards your feet. Arms nice and long in front of you, forehead down, and rest. If I am there to support you, then I would press your lower back down around your hips. And I would put one palm on your neck, the back of your neck, and try to stretch your spine more. One of my students recently sent me a picture. Her dog sat on her as she was in this pose, which I think is an interesting way of having a support if there is no teacher around. I found it quite amusing. Lovely, opening your hips, directing your breath there. And maybe you are aware we have only 2 poses left. One will be your favorite inversion, and then we will have Shavasana, so our relaxation, also known as corpse pose. So think about where you want to get with your inversion today. I know some of you are able to do headstands, so if you've done them before, if you are confident, just go for it. Otherwise, there are many other options. For example, you can try a shoulder stand, or if a shoulder stand feels too much today, especially for women, there's time of the month when you don't really want to do any inversions, it just doesn't feel right. Then you can maybe just lift your legs up, and if you don't want to engage your muscles, you can always rest those legs on the wall next to you if you have one, or some wardrobe. So choose your option. As always, I will demonstrate shoulder stand. To get there, you have to lift your pelvis and land it in your palms, puffing up the chest, starting with knees bent. And we will stay in this inversion for about 3 minutes. So don't worry if you can't hold your headstand for that long. You can try a few different ones, or do the headstand and later move into shoulder stand, whichever works for you. If you are in a shoulder stand with knees bent, maybe it's the time to start extending your legs with a nice angle, with feet over your face. Unless you are very ambitious and you want to go into full shoulder stands right away. Well, if you have the stamina, please do so. Okay, maybe straightening those legs now, so they are nice and vertical to the ground. Even in the headstand, you can play with your legs, play with the angles. You can even splay them out if you like. It's useful in postures we hold for a long time to keep our mind engaged so it doesn't feel bored. If it does, you can always focus on your breath and let go of inner chatter. If you get tired at any point, you can always bend those knees again In the shoulders, then you can rest them on your forehead. Whichever option you choose, make sure your neck is happy, tucking your chin in. And from shoulder stand you can move into plow pose, bringing your legs over your face. Nice, strong, not strong, but long legs. Opening those hamstrings one last time. And if you are in a plow and you are fairly flexible, maybe take those arms over your head and perhaps your toes can touch the palms, your fingertips. In plow, you can always bend your legs, bring them by your ears, the knees. And there's one more variant where you bring your knees together and drop them by one ear at the time. You can check if that's you. And prepare to slowly come out of your inversion. Slowly and with control. So it's always good to leave some energy for coming out of the pose. And if you are in a headstand, don't lift your head too fast. Maybe wrap yourself with something warm if it's not very warm where you are right now. Your body will cool down. Couple of options. Legs can be nice and wide, wider than hip distance apart. Your palms can be on your belly or on the floor facing towards the ceiling. If you love hip openers, you can always bring the soles of your feet together again as we did at the beginning. Now look to your right and left a few times to release tensions from your neck. Really going for it as you stretch to the side. Closing your eyes when you feel ready. And allowing your body to be heavy on the mat. With your inner eye, you can scan your limbs, starting with your legs, and allowing your legs to be heavy as they are. Letting go of all the muscles. You don't need them right now. The floor supports you. Finding your torso, your lower, upper back, buttocks, becoming aware of the connection with the floor. Seeing how things change as you breathe. Perhaps the connection with the floor is stronger when your lungs are full. And letting go of muscles, letting go of tensions, and letting your torso be as it is on the mat. Without adding any movement, any muscle work. Your chest nicely expands every time you breathe, and your shoulders are flat on the mat. You might even feel the texture of whatever it is your shoulders are in contact with. Arms heavy on the ground, feeling much heavier than they usually are. So that even if you want to lift them up, you can't because they're so heavy. And finally your head, very heavy on the mat, really sinking into the mat. If that helps, you can imagine you are in your bed where you can really relax your head and neck on your soft pillow. You really want to relax your neck. We tend to hold many tensions there. And now taking a couple of deep breaths into your entire body, perhaps exhaling through your mouth this time. Really letting go and experiencing your body as one body, relentlessly working for you with all the digestion, cardiovascular system, nerve system, your immunity. There is so much more to it. And it's always there for you to help you be your best. So bringing the sense of gratitude towards your body. But also your mind. Maybe when we meditate, the mind feels as if it's getting in the way. But it helps us to get through daily reality. So we need it as well. Letting yourself be as you are. With your one heavy body on the ground. Observing the sensations that are arising. If any thoughts are coming, you can also observe them like clouds in the sky. They come and go. And you don't have to be pulled to any of the thoughts, stories, our metaphorical clouds. You just stay there as an observer, understanding the nature of the thoughts and clouds. They come and go, and each will be different. And you can just observe, enjoying the play of your mind. When you are ready, gently move your fingers and toes, taking your arms over your head and bringing them into prayer, over your head, bringing your feet together as well, stretching your entire body, bringing your intent. Staying here for a few breaths. Maybe you have a dream that you didn't manifest yet, a dream for yourself, others, the planet. Maybe you can send it out now. And when you are ready, bend your knees, bring your thighs towards your chest, hug yourself and rock from side to side. If you like, you can wrap yourself like a little ball with your nose between your knees. And resting your head down, rolling onto your left side. Staying in this restorative pose for a few moments. Staying with peaceful and blissful sensations within you. By stretching, we create more space in our body, but I believe we also create lots of mental space. So you can start thinking how you're gonna use it. Maybe you can make space for something new. Lift yourself up when you are ready into cross-leg sitting. We'll rise the arms into Prana Mudra, so elbows gently bent. Feeling the connection with the rest of the world and also with each other. Although we are physically in different spaces, it's still a shared group yoga class, so be aware of other people. There are still at least 7 of us left. Bringing your palms together at the crown of your head, the point between your eyebrows, touching with your thumbs, touching your throat, and bringing your palms into your heart. We'll chant Om together. So take a nice deep breath in. And we'll close the practice by bending forward. Namaste. Okay, thank you very much for coming. It's been lovely to share the yoga with you. Let me know if you would like to continue next week. I'm aware the lockdown is slowly released and not everyone might have time for yoga. So hopefully you have a great day ahead. In England we have a bank holiday weekend, so hopefully you enjoy this time. And feel free to unmute yourself if there is anything you would like to say.